Protests against police brutality continue in Madison. The interim police chief explains how he's working with black community leaders to find some common ground.
And an inside look at a Madison downtown business damaged for the third night in a row.
This is News 3 Now at 6.
Thanks for joining us. We want to start your evening with our Alert Day forecast for thunderstorms that could be severe tonight.
Let's check your first warn forecast with Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti.
Charlotte, just in the last couple of minutes, the National Weather Service has expanded the severe thunderstorm watch into all of southern Wisconsin, including the Madison metro area, until midnight tonight. So that does include our entire viewing area. As we look at visible cloud track, these storms have been developing very, very rapidly over the last couple of hours through Minnesota and now into parts of west central Wisconsin. Strongest storms are actually just north and west of our viewing area. Right now, some severe thunderstorms just in Jackson County. Those storms could be moving into the northern portions of Juneau and Adams counties over the next couple of minutes. As we put the radar into motion, you see just how rapidly these storms have developed over the last hour or so. And a wider radar perspective shows more storms out to the west into Minnesota. A line of thunderstorms could sweep through with the potential for widespread damaging winds as it moves through. Madison now at 89 degrees, still shy of our record. Many locations, though, still in the lower 90s with dew-point temperatures to our north in the lower 70s, right where those storms are forming, and heat index values are near 100 in the La Crosse area. Look for a round of strong to severe thunderstorms tonight. Those will end early tomorrow morning. Tomorrow will turn sunny, but it'll be very warm and less humid as dry air moves in from the west. High temperature at 85. I'll have more on the severe weather threat a little bit later on in the newscast.
The state of Minnesota has filed a civil rights charge against the Minneapolis Police Department following the death of George Floyd. From coast to coast, police are taking a knee, joining protesters calling for justice for Floyd. But we're also seeing police use tear gas to break up crowds in Oakland and Philadelphia, and an NYPD sergeant struck by a hit-and-run driver in the Bronx. In Minneapolis, demonstrators staged a sit-down strike at the Capitol and held a moment of silence while artists went to work on another mural in Floyd's honor.
Black lives matter. Black lives matter. Black lives matter.
Meanwhile, it is day 4 of protests in Madison calling for justice for George Floyd. Hundreds of demonstrators gathered in front of the Dane County Jail this afternoon calling for the sheriff to free inmates and defund police. The protest was peaceful, with people drawing signs to hang from their vehicles. Then, a caravan drove through town and along the Beltline. Madison police were monitoring fluid road closures beginning at John Nolan Drive and eventually near Highway 51 in Middleton. Officials say some protesters were walking, others were driving in their vehicles with signs reading Black Lives Matter and black bandanas hanging out of car doors. The DOT says all lanes will reopen about 3:30 this afternoon.
We have team coverage tonight. Jamie Perez spoke with a State Street business owner who was dealing with 3 straight nights of break-ins.
But first, Madeline O'Neill talked with interim police chief Vic Wall about their approach to these continued protests.
Well, we're here on State Street. You can see most businesses have their windows boarded up after 3 straight nights of people coming and damaging them and looting. Obviously, an outcome police don't want to see. Now, Madison police say they're fine-tuning their approach for anything that might pop up tonight, but say across the nation there's no simple, easy solution for police. Now, last night, without officers patrolling around the Capitol Square, we saw that the large protest remained peaceful. Now, that's until it ended around 1:30. Many left, but part of the crowd took to State Street, again breaking windows, some becoming violent. That prompted police response. Now, Chief Wall has been speaking with leaders in the black community, including Michael Johnson with the Boys and Girls Club. According to Wall, he's open to showing support for their cause.
So I think what we want to try to do is highlight that common ground, and certainly if there's an opportunity for us to show that support, or for me to show that sort of support and common ground, I'm happy to do that.
Chief Wall says that support may look like joining a march or taking a knee with protesters, as we've seen in other communities. Police aren't sharing their game plan for tonight, as we really don't know what to expect yet. Now, Governor Tony Evers is calling on legislature to pass a bill aimed at eliminating police brutality. Amy Reed has more on his thoughts.
Maddie, this bill that Democrats wrote did not make it far, but it was introduced after the Assembly had wrapped up for the session this year. The legislation addressed law enforcement's use of force. It would require the Law Enforcement Standards Board develop a model for use of force that addresses interactions with vulnerable populations and those with mental disorders and alcohol or drug problems. It would also make deadly force the last resort, instead saying officers should use the least amount of force necessary to safely address the threat. Evers said he would sign it as soon as it reaches his desk, also addressing the need for other fixes to racism.
We need systemic change to address the racism in our state and our country. We must be willing to face it with clear eyes and open hearts, recognizing that folks who look like me have been part of creating, exacerbating, and benefiting from the systems we must now turn to dismantle.
So far, Republican leaders in the legislature have not responded when it comes to the bill, but in the last few days, some have shared frustration over Floyd's killing and called on the governor to address the continued destruction in downtown Madison. One even asking the governor to review grant funding to Freedom Inc. if they are at all responsible for what's happened on State Street the last 3 nights. The governor did not address continued looting, instead focusing on the need for change at both the state and local levels.
All right, Amy, thank you. And after a day of peaceful protests yesterday, Madison officers made no attempt to engage or break up last night's rally at the Capitol as the 9:30 curfew came and went. At around 1:30 this morning, officers and National Guard soldiers started to respond when someone fired multiple shots in the air. 2 people were attacked with crowbars, and 2 men who tried to stop looters were severely beaten with 2x4s. Chief Wall says chemical agents were used after officers were hit with rocks and other items. 9 people were arrested last night. Also, the Forward statue in front of the state Capitol was vandalized during last night's protest. Today, crews worked to clean the graffiti off. The Capitol building also was spray painted, and the Wisconsin Veterans Museum was defaced. New at 6, Madison police have recovered 2 AR-15 rifles that were reportedly stolen after rioters lit a squad car on fire. That was on Saturday night. Officials say one of the guns was returned by a business owner who found it in a nearby trash can. The other was recovered by the MPD Violent Crimes Unit on Sunday. Police say their investigation is ongoing. They do anticipate making some arrests.
So we want to let our viewers know that those who are participating in this kind of behavior doesn't necessarily reflect the people who were demonstrating peacefully throughout the night. But once again, damage was done to several businesses along and around State Street. And again, volunteers showed up this morning to help clean the mess left behind. Crews from Ideal Builders were downtown to help store owners however they could, and so did residents, including some who live right off State Street.
So many emotions running through, where you can hear the protesters chanting, marching, shouting, and you could hear everything. You could hear the fires, like a police car parked right outside, set on fire. The past few days, I've been trying to just find the words for indescribable emotion.
Madison Mayor Satya Rhodes Conway issued a statement in the last 15 minutes emphasizing that the people causing damage to the downtown area came out after peaceful protesters had dispersed. She says this was an unrelated cluster of people and called their behavior unacceptable. The mayor says she supports law enforcement who were put in this dangerous situation. She's asking people to stay home tonight and to remember that we are still dealing with a pandemic.
Fontana Sports on State Street was broken into for the 3rd night in a row. Jamie Perez spoke with the owners today about what it's been like to have to deal with this over the past few days. Jamie?
The owners actually spent all morning clearing out the rest of their inventory. They put up these plywood boards on top of their windows, and you can actually see that it says store empty, and this is to prevent any riots or looting from happening again, and even if there is, that there is nothing to take. Now, they said they watched a group of about 30 people swarm in here and run out with a ton of their stuff, including their 400-pound safe. They said they lost about $30,000 to $50,000 worth of inventory, and that does not include the damage done to the windows, the damage done to their computers, security system, and of course that safe. Now, they've been in business here in Madison for about 50 years, and it said it broke their heart to find their store ransacked 3 nights in a row, but they're trying to find some silver linings.
Seeing the destruction, the anger, and the evil part of it is heartbreaking. So it's tough. But we're blessed. We had so many people walk by and say they were sorry, and so many people walk by and offer to come in. We had 30 people here today from all kinds of communities as well as downtown Madison.
The owners said that they are trying to retire, but it looks like they might have to keep working for a while to help fix up the damage. They said that they're going to stay closed until this rioting and the looting stops, and they're hopeful that their insurance can help cover some of the damage. And this is obviously something that many businesses on State Street have and will continue to deal with.
Now we wish them the very best. They try to rebuild there. Jamie Perez live downtown. Jamie, thank you.
New at 6, the Boys and Girls Club of Dane County is looking to hire 75 peacekeepers to attend protests around the city to monitor and de-escalate situations that may arise. President and CEO Michael Johnson says you must be 21 years of age or older. It is a paid position. You will be asked to hand out water and provide other support. If you are interested, you are asked to email your contact information and resume to info@bgcdc.org. Local artists are taking part in efforts to clean up damage downtown. Photojournalist Brian Troxel has the message they hope to share with the Madison community.
This is about growth. In order to grow, we need to change. Right now, we are just out here trying to preserve and to express the beauty of what's going on right now.
I got the chance to be part of this project, and the first thing I thought, it was like, hey, Mike would be amazing for this. We just kind of go as we go, and then we get together for 2 seconds. We talk about ideas. That's good. Everything that we go through, it's an experience, you know, and we got to learn what the good and bad things are from those experiences, and hopefully learn from it.
A lot of this stuff makes people uncomfortable, and people are watching, and people see the graffiti, and people see the marches. The things that make you uncomfortable, that's going to make change.
Art is peaceful, even if the imagery is a little bit shocking to some. To others, it's exactly what is needed.
Well, tonight, the Madison Common Council is scheduled to take steps toward a new police oversight committee. After Tony Robinson was shot and killed back in 2015, the city put together a committee to look into ways to better oversee police action. Last year, the committee came out with recommendations. Tonight, a group of alders is pushing for a committee to monitor how those recommendations of the previous committee will be put in place. The number one thing the group asked for was an independent police auditor. The city has budgeted for that position, but has yet to fill it. We'll have continuing coverage on protests in honor of George Floyd and community members as well, who are calling for drastic changes in our local criminal justice system. You can follow breaking news updates on our Channel 3000 mobile app.
Next at 6, an update on the search for a new UW system president. And Madison's COVID-19 community test site will be open for longer than originally planned. We'll have that story next.
Social distancing and family quarantines are a jarring reality for kids. It's a big adjustment, so it's important that we adults do what we can to help them navigate this new normal. Encourage your kids to ask questions and give them honest, age-appropriate answers. Show them things that they can do to regain some control. And above all, reassure them that their safety is your top priority.
Now more than ever, SSM Health and News 3 Now encourage you to take time for kids.
Govan Cars grand opening sale, beautiful Middleton. 2017 Nissan Sentras, Hyundai Elantras for only $79.95 or $129 per month.
That's right. Buy 2017 Nissan Sentras and Hyundai Elantras for only $79.95 or $129 per month.
Govan Cars is selling 2018 Kia Fortes for only $89.95 or $149 per month.
Hurry in today and just ask for my dad, Don the Dealman Govan.
Or my daughter, Crystal the Pistol Govan.
You gotta go to Govan, GovanCars.com.
When you have depression, it can plunge you into deep, dark lows and can leave you feeling extremely sad and disinterested. Overwhelmed by bipolar depression? Ask about Vraylar. Not all types of depression should be treated the same. Vraylar effectively helps relieve all symptoms of bipolar depression with just one pill once a day. Elderly patients with dementia-related psychosis have an increased risk of death or stroke. Call your doctor about unusual changes in behavior or suicidal thoughts. Antidepressants can increase these in children and young adults. Report fever, stiff muscles, or confusion, which may mean a life-threatening reaction, or uncontrollable muscle movements, which may be permanent. Side effects may not appear for several weeks. Metabolic changes may occur. Nausea, restlessness, and movement dysfunction are common side effects. When bipolar depression overwhelms, ask how Vraylar can help.
You are watching News 3 Now at 6.
State and county health officials confirm almost 19,000 people have tested positive for coronavirus. Wisconsin has surpassed 600 deaths. As of today, about 3/4 of Wisconsin patients have recovered from the coronavirus. There are more than 6,000 active cases. Over the past 2 weeks, Wisconsin has seen a downward trend in the percentage of cases coming back positive. About 3.6% of new cases came back positive today. And looking at the latest update to the Forward Dane metrics, 6 of the 9 criteria are green. We are not meeting our goal for only 4 new cases in the county per day. Health officials say we're seeing an average of about 15 cases daily, and we have a red marking for all positive cases being reported and patients being interviewed quickly to trace their contacts. 65% of cases were contacted within 48 hours of being tested, but the county wants to see that number at 85% or higher.
And public health officials say that red marking and lab timeliness and contact tracing is due to delays around that community testing site at Alliant Energy Center. They say the free COVID-19 community testing site has been crucial in increasing testing capacity, but the scale of the operation has introduced some delays in processing samples. Health officials say they'll continue working on improvements with the National Guard, DHS, and Exact Sciences. The timeline to keep the Alliant Energy test site has been extended now to keep it open through June 24th. Testing is available Monday through Saturday, extended hours until 8 p.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
The president of the University of Alaska system is the only finalist for the University of Wisconsin system president opening. UW officials announced that Jim Johnson is the only remaining candidate, and several others removed themselves from consideration after expressing concern about being named publicly as a finalist during the coronavirus pandemic. Johnson is set to interview for the position a week from today.
Well, coming up, an alert day forecast for thunderstorms tonight that could be severe with some heavy rain, high winds. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti will have the latest details. Stay with us.
This week, you're going to get more at the Brothers Made Memorial Day Super Sale. Get in now with more savings on more brands like Whirlpool, Maytag, KitchenAid, and Amana. Right now, improving your home is more convenient at Maine with up to 18-month 0% financing. And we make getting more easy with expert delivery free. And our risk-free 30-day price and satisfaction guarantee. The Memorial Day Super Sale for more selection, more savings, and more satisfaction. It all ends Monday at the Brothers Made, your local store for more since 1938.
Have you ever met Miss Lindy? She's a gal with the bright red hair. Now she stands high from all the rest. You know her anywhere. Well, she's mine. Yeah, she's mine. My Miss Lindy. She's my Lindy. My only Lindy. Well, I love that little girl.
Power Centers of Madison. Visit powercentersofmadison.com.
While there's no instruction manual for what we're all going through now, there is Christian and Natalie and all our other associates at Pick and Save, working with one of the country's biggest supply chains for the Kroger family of brands, keeping our promise that our shelves will be continually stocked and that you'll always have access to the things you need. Because together, we've got you covered. Pick and Save, fresh for everyone.
Home is dancing because no one's watching. Home is a reason to disturb the peace. Home is laughter. Home is where heads come to rest. A place to let go and a place to find again. At Stanley Steamer, we love home, and we know that a clean home is a healthy home. We're ready when you are.
News
3 Now, Channel 3000, and Madison Magazine are pleased to partner with Madison Metropolitan School District to give its high school seniors a graduation to remember. Join us for special commencement ceremonies with messages from students and principals, musical performances, and virtual walk across the stage photo tributes to the graduates. Class of 2020, born to make history. June 12th and 13th on News 3 Now and streamed live on Channel 3000.
Severe weather could occur at some point this evening over all of southern Wisconsin. The severe thunderstorm watch has now been expanded across the entire southern portion of the state, including the Madison metro area. This watch in effect until midnight tonight. As we take a look at high-resolution Doppler radar, look at how these storms have exploded just north of our viewing area. Here's Juneau and Adams counties, and you can see a hail core just north of Juneau County, as well as some other hail cores that could be producing hail 2 inches in diameter or larger. That's larger than the size of golf balls, and there have been several severe reports of large hail from some of these thunderstorm cells. Strongest thunderstorm cell right now looks like it's going to track just into the far northern portions of Juneau County. Most of these storms right now have a high hail impact as well as a high flooding impact because we see repeat storms moving over the same general area. So these storms could be putting down 1 to 2 inches of rain per hour, and localized 3-inch amounts of rain are possible. Hail track over the last couple of hours shows where these hail cores have moved. These areas of darker red indicate 2 inches in diameter or larger hailstones, and right now the strongest hail cell is just to the north of Juneau County, another one just to the north of La Crosse, and over the next half hour you can see the storm probably producing large hail into far northern Juneau and Adams counties. No warning in effect for those counties yet, and also some very strong thunderstorms producing hail to at least 1.5 inches just north of La Crosse and back into parts of Minnesota. Over the last couple of hours, just look at how these storms have exploded from practically nothing to several clusters of severe thunderstorms. And a wider radar perspective shows these lines of storms up to the north. Those severe thunderstorm watches in effect now for all of southern Wisconsin through midnight tonight. Storm Prediction Center has us under an enhanced risk of severe thunderstorms. Damaging straight-line winds, hail, and heavy rains, the main threats. This hatched area here indicates the potential where straight-line winds of 70 miles per hour or greater are possible. And this hatched area here indicates where hail 2 inches in diameter or larger are possible. And we've already seen several of those instances. Still an outside threat of a tornado, but the higher tornado threat will be back where the storms initially developed. By the time they move through much of southern Wisconsin, they'll be in line, so straight-line winds will be the main threat. This area of thunderstorms has developed in the northern edge of a hot air dome, which has pushed temperatures into the mid to upper 90s over parts of southern Minnesota and northern Iowa, just south of the stationary front. Temperatures are just a little bit cooler north of the front, but the air is noticeably drier. So eventually this front and a cold front to the west will drop southward. That will bring a break in the humidity as the storms move to our south tomorrow during the day. But right now you can see temperatures in the middle 90s in the parts of southern Minnesota, Madison close to 90, where the rain has cooled the air, temperatures have fallen back. But even north of there, those temperatures warm back up. So it's not going to be a dramatic drop-off in temperatures. Severe thunderstorm watch until midnight tonight for all of southern Wisconsin. Showers, thunderstorms, some of those could have high winds, hail, and heavy rainfall, low at 68. Tomorrow, thunderstorms will end early, then it'll turn sunny and warm, but less humid with a high temperature of 85. Future track shows those storms moving in from the north and west. This is midnight tonight, sweeping through the Madison area, and then by early tomorrow morning, pushing down into Illinois. After that, we clear out with temperatures in the middle 80s. Rainfall amounts could be 1 to 2 inches, locally over 3 inches in some of the heavier thunderstorms that occur. Otherwise, 7 to 10 day forecast, a break in the humidity, temperatures stay warm, and then next week we'll see the humidity come back along with some thunderstorm chances.
And coming up in sports, former Badger Alev Counter has been giving back since the Olympics were postponed. The mantra and the message she's spreading next on News 3 Now.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by La-Z-Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. La-Z-Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Everybody and everything has been impacted by the recent market crash. But what if your retirement portfolio wasn't? It could be possible with the right kind of planning. So if you're worried about your retirement income, discover how Retirement Income Strategies can help. Call today, 608-208-1800. Make sure you know all your options. Call now to schedule your conference call with Retirement Income Strategies. 608-208-1800.
What do you think of when you hear custom built in the USA? Superior quality? skilled craftsmanship, built to last. At Renewal by Andersen, our windows are custom built in the USA. That's something each and every one of us is proud of. We're proud of what we do, and we're proud of where we do it. Renewal by Andersen, the better way to a better window.
Monona Plumbing and Fire Protection remains open to serve our customers and communities during these times of uncertainty. We've got you covered for all your plumbing service needs. Call us for help. We are here for you.
The open road, the wind in your hair, the feeling of freedom that drives us to go out and discover. At Chevy, we're committed to getting you there with confidence and peace of mind. That's why your Chevy Clean dealers commit to using enhanced vehicle cleaning measures with CDC-approved cleansers. If you need a new Equinox, get 0% APR for 72 months or $4,500 cash allowance on most models. You may even shop online and take delivery at home where available, so you can find new roads with confidence.
Holding a phone takes precious attention away from the road. That's why handheld cell phone use is now illegal in Wisconsin work zones, and fines start at $40. Driving deserves your undivided attention. It's about safety for workers and for all motorists. So when you see orange cones, please put down the phone. The Wisconsin DOT urges you to eliminate distractions and be especially alert in work zones.
Wednesday is looking like another warm one. We'll have what you need to know before you head out the door in your first warn forecast. And we'll be keeping an eye on developments downtown after days of protest and unrest. Join us tomorrow, starting at 4:30 for News 3 Now this morning.
Right now, USA rugby star Lev Kelter was supposed to be gearing up for next month's Olympics. But instead of tearing up the field in Tokyo like she did at UW in 2 sports, the former Badger has been spreading rugby's mantra of "I'm with you" in her community. After starring at Wisconsin on the ice and on the pitch, Lev Kelter decided to give rugby a try.
Lev Kelter just scores in every single game.
Thanks to a voicemail.
Phone call was like, "Hey, this is Rick Suggett from USA Rugby. Give me a call if you're interested in playing rugby." And I was like, thought it was my twin sister playing a prank on me.
2 years after being introduced to the sport,
I'm going to Rio.
She's going to Rio.
I'm going to Rio.
Kelter made history in Rio.
To have it be the first ever rugby in the Olympics was like everything you did, you were a pioneer. Kelter evades one defender. She has plenty of space.
Now with the 2020 Olympic Games postponed,
Tokyo 2021 sounds amazing.
The former Badger is giving back to her community.
We wrote nurses, letters to the nurses, and then we signed a jersey. You know, it's not anything big. We can't make 1,000 masks or 2,000 to 100,000 masks or anything like that, but we can just show that they're appreciated.
By simply showing support the rugby way. I'm with you.
It means I'm literally next to you. I'm with you. But also, anything you're going through, we're going through because we're family.
One family with one message for the world.
Stay positive, learn new things, and try to connect it and inspire people.
We should all live by that message.
Very much so. All right, thank you very much. And as a final check with Gary.
Well, we now have a severe thunderstorm warning that's been issued until 7:15 for the northern portion of Juneau County, basically from Elroy and Camp Douglas northward. A couple of very strong thunderstorm cells capable of producing hail up to the size of golf balls or even a little bit larger. One just entering the northern portion of Juneau County. Others back in the areas around La Crosse, a very strong hail core just to the north of La Crosse. All of these storms moving toward the east, so eventually it will impact Juneau and Adams counties, eventually into the northern portion of Richland County over the next couple of hours. Keep tuned for us with further weather updates as conditions warrant.
All right, we'll keep an eye on things. Gary will as well. Thanks for joining us tonight for News 3 Now at 6.
Have a safe evening, and we'll see you back here at 10.